Yeah, Mr. Neal Minor. There's that on Thursday, cheap and slow, it never was mine. Friday makes me feel like I'm gonna die. Then the payday is my Monday, and I shine all day Sunday. That's Monday when I'm with you. Yeah, that's Monday. That's Monday. Oh, that's Monday. Where I'm with you. Thank you so much for coming out. I'm overwhelmed, and what a birthday! Happy birthday to Frank Sr. And I chose this place really because ever since I saw my friend Marilyn do her birthday party here, her birthday bash, I said, you know, this is a bucket list. I want to do it here too. And I called Spike up and I said, Spike, man, my birthday is March 9th. Can I do the vocal series on the 8th? Thinking that, you know, if I do the vocal series, I don't really have to push myself and promote myself. He gets all his people anyway in here. So he wrote me back and said, what's wrong with March 9th? I said, oh man, now I got work to do. Well, my name is Frank Sr. for those that don't know, and all of the people out there on live land streaming. I grew up in Harlem, in the Lincoln Projects. Our community was tough. Our community was strong. And we treated people with the utmost respect. My family was probably the center, really, of all the social events that went on during that time. And music was the glue. You know, you couldn't move around the projects without hearing music. Now, I knew nothing about jazz. All I did was hear all of these songs being played, but nobody wanted to hear bebop. They were like, nah, man, we didn't understand it, you know, that's all. So when I was growing up, and in my house, my brother, peace to you, brother, if you're out there, he used to put on Stevie Wonder, you know, so I had to listen to Stevie and Motown. My mother, she put on a whole bunch of Ray Charles, so I had to listen to Ray Charles, soul, rhythm, and blues. Went to church on Sunday, and my great-grandmother had everybody headed for the Five Blind Boys, you know. And then my father, he'd get me home and I'd sit down on the floor and he said, nah, man, you gotta start listening to some standards. I'm like, standards? What's that? And he said, listen to Al Hibbler. No pressure, right? All these black people, they wanted me to be somebody. So I said, no, man, I didn't know what a jazz was really. All I did was take a song and I fell in love with it. I would learn it, go on the staircase with my friends, and we'd be doo-wopping "Don't Go to Strangers." I mean, you know, so it wasn't jazz. But as time went along, you know, I realized that, you know, what I was doing were standard covers, and you know, it's a tough thing to do, standard covers with a whole bunch of fantastic singers in this great New York City. We got the best singers in the world here in New York City. So they were doing all this bebop and scatting, and I'm going, wow. Man, you got work to do, Frank. So I want you to just sit back and just really, you know, close your eyes, have a drink, and enjoy the covers that I do. And I do it, the way that I do it is Frank Sr.'s way. I'm gonna love you like nobody's loved you. Come rain, oh, come shine. they sound. So time came along. I started my thing out, doing my thing, and I was slowly making my way through the music scene. Then came the 80s. That was the peak of my beginning career. It was unbelievable. 1982, got my SAG card from the movie Turk 182. Then did a lot of extra work with that. Then 1983, I had a baby girl, Lisa Renee. Then in 84, I met the legend Barry Harris. And there, he introduced me to the wonderful saxophone player Harold Owsley, and we gigged all over. We did the Blue Note, we did the Old Smalls, and we did a whole bunch of stuff, and it was continuous, constant. I thought I was on my way. I was the baddest man. My voice was crisp. I was young. I was playful. I was wild. I was crazy, and I had a ball. I even learned how to do some skiing during that time. Downhill skiing, cross-country skiing. Shout out to my ski buddies out there on the live stream. The ground came up and hit me a lot, though. That cross-country got to me. I'd rather downhill than I did that. And it was just a tremendous time, and I was all over the place. Then I met Kobe Norita. We did a lot of things down there at the Universal Jazz Center. And in 1986, she helped me get an NEA grant. And I got that grant just auditioning and she sent in some of my stuff. The grant came through, and I had to produce and sing, perform 3 concerts. And I was like over the moon. You couldn't say nothing to me, man. My father was so proud. My mother was like, "You on the way, boy." 1986, unfortunately, it came to a complete halt for that moment. At the door, I didn't notice until the end of the concert that my father had passed away at the door with a massive heart attack. And what that did for me was kind of make me, it slowed me down a little bit. It made me afraid to really invite people anywhere out because I was afraid that this could happen again. But the next day, my mom called me up and she said, "Boy, you better not give up. Your brother's here and I'm still here. So you keep our dream alive, make us proud." I said, "Okay, all right." 1989, I played, I sang through it and everything, and I thought I was really making progress. 1989, I got the biggest gig of my life at that time, up in Jacob's Pillow. Hey Jackie, if you're out there. And it was an unbelievable experience. And I auditioned, they told me that I got it, and then the next day, my brother and I were called to the hospital with my mother, and he just told us right out, "Your mom does not have long to live. She has cancer." That was unbelievable. So I said, "Ma, you want me to go up there and do this?" Or she said, "Boy, you better go up there and do this." Well, when I went, she went in a coma. I did 8 weeks up there. And my brother, he told me he went every day and, just sat with her and while she was in this coma. Well, I came home picked me up. We went out there. My mother came out of the coma that day. It was funny because my brother said, Ma, you know who you talking to? She goes, I know who my sons are. That was an unbelievable experience. The next day I went to visit her by myself, and she just was very quiet. And she said, boy, continue what we said we were gonna do. Make us proud. And that night she passed away. For the next, I'd say 11 years, 12 years, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just singing, taking gigs when people hired me. I didn't go out and get anything. I couldn't learn tunes. I was just stuck. But I didn't know that. Then I met a young man, a drummer. He's about 15, 20 years younger maybe. And this guy, we became really close friends. We walked the city. I watched him carry his drums from place to place, day after day, hustling. And I said, Frank, man, come on. You're a wuss. You gotta get back into this. And he was like, come on, Frank, just do one thing. Well, he put me back on the right track, and it's been a long climb since then, but some amazing stuff. But then COVID came. I lost a few friends during the COVID, and I sat home, and I didn't have a dog or anything, and I was like, Frank, you gotta get a dog during this COVID, otherwise you're gonna sit here and die. But it made me realize that, wow, you still have a chance, brother. And you still have a voice. So use it. So then I said, okay, these past 4 or 5 years has been the greatest time of my life. And I finally caught up to where I think I was in '83. And I said, I'm not gonna ask Spike, could I sing here until I felt good enough that I belong, and I belong. So then by this time I knew who Joe Williams was, and I knew Lou Rawls and Sarah Vaughan and Ella, Carmen. I knew all of these people, and then I started listening. And then over these 20 years, I just meeting so many musicians, and again, the greatest singers in New York, I'm still learning from, and it's been a beautiful journey up to this point. And here I am. My arms wound around her. Her eyes were aglow. The moment was tender, and the music was low. But while we were dancing, I think you All right, guys. I need your help. I want you to put it down, get down. I want you to get down. I thank you for coming out. Let's party a little bit, guys. Come on. Keep it going. All the time we will groove. Oh, keep it going. I wanna be on the groove. You give your hand to me and then say hello. My heart is beating so. Oh, you think you know me well, but you don't know me. Yeah. Oh, you don't know the one, come on, who dreams of you and I. Been long to kiss your lips and long to hold you tight. I'm just a friend. That's all I've ever been. Yeah, you don't know me. Oh, I never knew the art of making love. Oh, my heart beats with love for you. Oh, great inside. Let my chance go by. Oh, chance and you might walk into. You give your hand to me, and then I say goodbye. I watch you walk away beside that lucky guy. Anyone knows the one who loves you so. Who don't know, baby? Come on, man. All right, let's help this man out. Oh, so bad, ain't it? Chez, Lewis. Come on, Neal. Mr. Neal Minor. Come on, Marshall. Anwar. She's a bad girl. Yes, Anwar Marshall. I love it. Oh, I've given you the honor making love in my heart. Feelings with love for you. Afraid and shy, I let my chance go by. You don't know me like you. You give your hand to me, baby. I like that. But you don't know me. Happy birthday to me. Thank you very much. What a lovely band. Great hand for the band.
Frank Sr., ladies and gentlemen. Senior, ladies and gentlemen. Chez, Neal Minor, Anwar Marshall.